So, y'all ready for this? So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope the option lesson today was enough to keep you content. I hope a lot of the talks, the halal talk, was enough to keep you content. I just hope all of you are content in some way. But some people are not content yet because they have not gotten their daily dose of philo. So now we must tend to those people now who need their philo. So, I'm excited for this philo. Your disclaimer is, it's not a disclaimer. Honestly, I'm changing the words because this isn't a disclaimer. This is just me telling you, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. No one's trying to mislead you. No one's trying to force anything on you. No one really cares when it comes down to it. I just don't want to be obnoxious. Being obnoxious would be me not even saying this. I know what I'm about to talk about. I know how it could bother people. I know some people like it and dislike it, and I know some people see it as a waste of time. So I encourage you to respect how I'm respecting your time. If you think it's obnoxious, please don't be obnoxious and disturb it. This isn't for you. So just letting you know, you don't have to be here for the next 20 or 30 minutes. We're going to talk about religion or positivity and some other stuff. This one's a really cool one I'm going to share with you. I am going to read the Bible. And I looked into it and it blew my mind. And I want to share it with you. But at the same time now, what I noticed is as I was like kind of writing some of these notes down, the common theme keeps coming up. And I hope you know that. And I looked into it and it blew my mind. And I want to share it with you. But at the same time now, what I noticed is as I was like kind of writing some of these notes down, the common theme keeps coming up. And I hope you know that. That lately some of these philos, and I don't know, I think it applies to me in some way. In many ways, all of them do, clearly. But there's this, I just have to know that there's this common theme coming up. And it has to just do with just dealing with stuff, whether it's problems, opposition, all sorts of stuff, you know. And I think it's kind of just a lot of these reminders have just been, you know, remain strong and keep and understand it so you could keep moving. You know, honestly, I love it when I really, you know, I hope some of you could really take what you need to out of this, because it's one thing we're talking about. You know, obviously I want you to benefit this at the best level of life and living, but this applies to your stocks. This applies to your trading. You know, that was one of the first things we talked about this morning was the cycles and knowing how to handle the seasons and how to get through those cycles so that you can continue to invest, so you could continue to deal with whatever trend your business has to deal with so that you're able to move with it. So there is a lot of practical nature. But what we're going to talk about here is something called stress wood. And this is the Biosphere 2 project. So if any of you want to look this up, you can. It's called the Biosphere 2 project. So I'm gonna give you this summary of it. Here it is. The Biosphere 2 project was created as a research tool for scientists to study the Earth's living systems, and it allowed scientists to play with farming and innovation in a way that didn't harm the planet. So I'm going to keep going. What this is, it's like a bubble. The Biosphere 2 project, yes, it's like a bubble. So what they do is they create a ecosystem inside of a bubble to replicate nature so that they could see. And like it said, they can they could play with innovations without messing up the environment. It's cool. It's a really cool experiment. Yeah, there's a lot of movies on it too. Biodome. So one of the most profound discoveries made by the scientists had nothing to do with a cure for some new disease or a new way of farming land. Rather, the discovery had to do with the wind's role in a tree's life. The trees inside Biosphere 2 grew rapidly, more rapidly than they did outside of the dome, but they also fell over before reaching maturation. After looking at the root systems and outer layers of bark, the scientists came to realize that a lack of wind in Biosphere 2 caused a deficiency of stresswood. Stresswood helps a tree position itself for optimal sun absorption, and it also helps trees grow more solidly. Without stresswood, a tree can grow quickly, but it cannot support itself fully. It cannot withstand normal wear and tear and survive. In other words, the tree needed some stress in order to thrive in the long run. Whoo! Oh, you like it, huh? Already? Oh, yeah, you like it. This is kind of like the catfish. Stresswood. So it's saying that if you are in an environment that is perfect, a perfect environment to grow, you will grow rapidly. But what would happen is these trees would grow so big, the roots weren't developed, and it wasn't able to really, it would fall over. It's crazy to think about. It's, again, the lack of wind. Simply the lack of wind didn't allow it to really grow and become a successful tree and really develop and become strong, tall, reliable, everything. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Because you guys, you need the wind. The wind is like the catfish. Some of you want to live in a life, you want to live in Biosphere 2. You want to live in a life where all of your trades work out, where every month you're profitable, every week you're profitable, every girl you talk to is in love with you, every single time you send somebody something, they respond to you, they give you what you want, you know, everything, your boss is chill, everything. That's what you guys want. You want no wind. But what's going to happen? You're going to grow. You'll get big. Maybe you'll get what it is. Honestly, some of you saw this happen. Some of you hit TLT. Some of you made other plays. You got lucky on Tesla, whatever it was. You got success. You grew big, but your roots weren't developed. You didn't have wind or opposition. So that's why when anything eventually happened, you fell over. You got uprooted. First wind, exactly. And this is the whole point of this. You need challenges pushing you. This is why I'm saying the common theme keeps coming up. I don't know why. I think God's trying to tell me something. Maybe it's for all of us at the same time. All this stuff, it's at these moments right now. It's one how to, some of us get sad about the wind and we hate it. Some of us, you live in the opposite of Biosphere 2 and it's really hard. And I get that. I hope you know that. We're praying for you. We believe in you. That's why we hope you take this stuff and do something with it. Then there's some people, it's, whatever they're going through, they're it's not like they don't see it necessarily, but it's just they're waiting for that opportunity in a weird way. But we're all dealing with challenges and people get discouraged by it, is what I'm trying to say. But realize that the thing that's pushing you, this wind that you think is stopping you, is really helping you to grow, to actually grow. And that's the thing. It's one thing to grow fast, but it's another thing to survive. Like, I hope you know that. Like, even when you come and look at the cult, like, it's one thing for me to be here. It's one thing for me to be a good trader, honestly. That's one thing to see a good play. Maybe I do good for a couple months. Maybe I do bad for a couple months. You've seen me blow up accounts. You've seen me lose stuff, take accounts up and down, all that. But the key is really surviving at the end of the day. You could tell me about this year. You can tell me about last year. Point is, we've been in the game. Same thing with a lot of you. And some of you have to really see that value in there. What is the point of being in Biosphere 2? What is the point of growing big if you are just going to fall over? Have you thought about that? And the key is the roots. So that's why I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to read something else with it, but it's your roots. The roots are everything underneath. This is all these moments. Remember I keep telling you guys, it's like Moses, it's like David. It's what do you do when nobody's watching? What do you do in these moments where you feel like you're insignificant? What do you do in these moments when it's not just like you don't see it? That's the point. You don't see the roots. These moments are your roots developing for some of you. You have your first big win, and then you get your first big wind, and then you get cut back. Some of you spiral out of control. You're dead. You're out. You didn't have deep enough roots. Some of you, that was your opportunity where instead of growing up, you grew down. You started to stand in it and solidify. But the roots had to keep going deeper and deeper. That's why it's not about you didn't just go, your account doesn't just go up and then fall down. It went up, came down a little bit. You learned how to handle it. The roots got a little bit stronger. You got that wind. You survived the wind. It's going to keep going. And that's going to happen year after year. Some days it'll go longer, and some days you might get chopped real bad. But the point is, if you have deep roots, you're okay. Really, realistically. As long as your roots run deep, as long as, I mean, honestly, for some of you guys, what do you think is going to happen in 5 years, 10 years? Do you think a little situation is going to bug you like it does today? You have deep roots. You're going to be like, I've been there before. How are you going to hurt me? I've been chopped off waiting for 2 years. I've been alone sitting in here doing this my whole life. What are you going to do? You have deep roots. Those are people who could handle a lot. I hope you know that. It's not going to be the person who runs into success and then gets chopped down and then they can't handle all of what comes with success because their roots weren't deep enough. So the first win that comes over, they lose everything or they get hurt. They get damned. They can't deal with the people. They can't deal with this, that, whatever it is. That's why I've said, can you be trusted with this stuff? Can you be trusted to lead your family, to make a change, to change the world, change your finance, all of that? Can you? That's what you show when no one's watching. That's that whole thing I was saying, pursue excellence. Prove it to God. Prove it to yourself. But that is the key. It's the roots. Because why? If it doesn't have deep roots, it's not going to stay there. It will be short-lived. So, deep roots means you could withstand the wind. But you don't get deep roots without wind. And without wind, you could still grow, but you will not survive. The funniest part is, I haven't got to the Bible yet. That's nature. This is a science experiment. Go look. You don't believe anything, all this magic stuff I taught. Go ahead. Go look at the experiment. So I hope you like your growth. But if you don't have any wind and you haven't developed those roots, we know it's going to happen. Science will tell you. I think that's just interesting. It's fascinating. So, the roots are key. And then we're going to talk about this a little more, but I read a Bible verse, obviously from my favorite book, Proverbs, and then this came up. And then it started saying some stuff. So let me read it to you. I'm going to read you this verse in Proverbs. I'm going to read you the whole thing. There's a whole chat. It's very quick. And again, you'll like it. And honestly, some of you, where's the business? You'll see what I'm talking about. To learn, you must love discipline. It's stupid to hate correction. The Lord approves of those who are good, but he condemns those who plan wickedness. Wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. So this was the verse of the day yesterday. I read the whole thing. So after I was looking into this experiment, that was the first thing that came up. That was the third line. One, it's saying, you got to learn, you must love discipline. Isn't that funny? The wind is what disciplines you. The wind is, you must love it. You must, amor fati, literally. You must love when the challenge is presented with you because it lets you be disciplined. This is Proverbs 12. And it says it's stupid to hate correction. It's literally saying it's foolish to hate the wind. But it says, wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. Imagine it's bringing this concept up. This was thousands of years before Biosphere 2. If you think about it. It's saying wickedness. What do you want to get in? You're going to get involved with scams. You're going to get involved with something, if you're treating people the wrong way, whatever. That is not wind. You will deal with wind, but that is not going to give you deep roots. The people who have deep roots are, you know what deep roots is? Saying, I've lived enough and I've been through so much wind that I know if I do the right thing, I will stay standing. Oh, you don't feel me. That's to my halal haram guys there. That's what real deep roots is. It's saying you could be surrounded by people doing this. I could see people doing that. People could be doing this. You could decide to do that. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to do what I'm doing. As long as I do the right thing, regardless of what's around me, regardless of what I see people doing, my roots are so deep, I know that I will stand and grow. You may see the other trees doing this and doing that, and they're growing and that, but they don't have the same roots. I'll continue. A worthy wife is a crown for her husband. A disgraceful woman is like cancer in the bones. Sorry, ladies. Fellas, take notes. The plans of the godly are just. The advice of the wicked is treacherous. The words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly save lives. The wicked die and disappear, but the family of the godly stands firm. Again, take note. Standing firm. Again, wind pushes things over. The roots are allowing you to, again, when you have roots, you don't move. I hope you know that. Anything with roots is not meant to move. That's why you have feet. Y'all don't feel me. A sensible person wins admiration, but a warped mind is despised. And honestly, this has nothing to do with the point. But when I read this yesterday, I hope some of you pay attention to this. 2,000 years ago. A sensible person wins admiration, but a warped mind is despised. You see some of the stuff you guys say sometimes, I don't really care. It's just weird. You see what I'm saying? When some people make jokes at certain times, it's like you really just you have a warped mind. Where you see what I'm saying? And it's not to say you're this or you're that, your mind is this, you're that. Who cares? You thought we were friends? We are friends. That's why I'm telling you this, because it says it here. It's letting you know the outcome. I still love all of you. Some of them, I don't ban all of it. I ignore a lot of it. The key is you will get despised. Simple as that. Be sensible with your speech and how you present yourself. You will be admired. Say some weird shit all the time. Find a way to warp everything into this or that. People will despise you. It's that I'm a friendly person. I could only imagine the rest of the world who doesn't believe what I believe, how they would treat you. Isn't that crazy? So that's just besides the point. But that one stuck out to me because I was like, why? Isn't that weird in the Bible, thousands of years ago, talking about a warped mind? You would think that would be something that was caused today because of social media. It's like, where did they learn this stuff? Where did they think it was like? Isn't that crazy? It's weird to think about. It says better. I love Proverbs. I might just start picking these off one by one for you. See, I love this. This one hit. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be self-important and have no food. You realize what that's saying? An ordinary person with a servant. That's telling you it's better to have a 9-to-5 job in a long term than to think you're better than everybody, but you have no income, no job. You don't want to save. You don't want to do anything of that. It's better to have something humble with savings and something that's going to work for you Because y'all see servant, you're like, oh, slave. No, a servant. Your money's your servant. But to be self-important and have no food. Some of you can't think of one way to make $1 million. Think of a million ways to make $1. Don't be self-important. The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. Do I need to say anything on that? I hope so. I hope I don't have to, but it's kind of simple. Anybody who's saying that hard work isn't going to get you anything lied to you. This is a clear statement. It's one thing to say I'm going to be a billionaire, but I'm going to work hard for it. I'm going to dedicate. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to invest. I'm not going to gamble my money. I'm going to have a long term. All of that. That's not a fantasy. The fantasy is thinking you're going to work less than everybody else, do less than everybody else, get rich, and you're just going to chill and eat fucking grapes all day. That's a fantasy. You think you're going to do more than a lot of people out here who are just every single day at it. Come on, that's a fantasy. This is my favorite now. This is, again, it came up. The next one. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well-rooted and bear their own fruit. Oh, see, this has to do with working hard. This has to do with all of it, but again, the tree comes up again, the roots. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well-rooted and bear their own fruit. And you see that? That's why you see people getting mad at each other. One guy, you get mad at somebody who made more on Tesla. You see scammers get mad at each other. Everybody, people do all this. People get jealous of each other's loot. But what is it saying? It says the godly people are well-rooted. It goes back to what we said. Saying, I know who I am. I know if I work hard. I know if I do good. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm not looking at other people. I'm not going to get jealous at I'm not going to get jealous at the tree that's tall with no roots. Because you know what's going to happen. Not only that, it says the godly are well-rooted and bear their own fruit. That's what happens when you have deep roots. You're not getting distracted by that. You're not getting bitter when someone hits a play and someone does this, someone does that. Honestly, that's why I always thought about that. Even then, you see younger people out there doing stuff. It's like they have trouble with that. Seeing people do better than them. Some of you guys ask that with your friends. You're like, how do I get my friends? Then you guys are getting jealous of each other. You need deep roots. It's saying if I do the right thing, I'm going to be well-rooted and I'm going to bear my own fruit. It doesn't matter that I'm going to stay in the same place. I'm not going to cut my tree and try to uproot myself to get what you have and do what you did. You don't have to. You will bear your own fruit. The wicked are trapped by their own words, but the godly escape such troubles. Wise words bring many benefits. Oh, and again. And hard work brings rewards. Let me say that again. Wise words bring many benefits. And hard work brings rewards. It's funny how roots, deep-rooted in work and working hard keeps coming up. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. Amen. And sometimes we're all foolish. I get foolish. That's why. Why do you think I come to you guys and I say I'm listening? Why do you think I say I don't see what you see in these stocks, but I'm listening. Let's pull them up. Oh man, I have rules that I've kept for a year. And honestly, I think you guys are crazy to complain about certain stuff, but I'll listen. It's wise to listen to other people. That's why you guys get mad over politicians. You get mad over this. You get mad over Little John and the other dude. Little John and Charlie. Listen to others. You never know. It's pretty funny to think about. Even better, because it goes hand in hand. Look at thousands of years ago. And I've seen this. I've experienced this so much. And that's why I think back and I'm like, hopefully I just went for my wisdom. And that's why I need to listen to people, because you'll see what happens when you deal with people. It says, a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. I'm like guilty. I'm innocent. I don't know. I love Proverbs, baby. It'll cut you. See, it gets all of us. Some of you guys were getting clapped in the beginning. Some of you are getting clapped now. I could get clapped by it too. It's telling you right there. Yash is foolish. Quick temper is foolish. A wise person stays calm when insulted. Do you know what that is? It's literally not reacting. An honest witness tells the truth. A false witness tells lies. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. Truthful words stand the test of time, the wind, but lies are soon exposed. Deceit fills hearts that are plotting evil. Joy fills hearts that are planning peace. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. And I love this one, because remember I told you you're not going to hell? You're right, you're not going to hell. But the funny part about this, it says no harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. But if you go back in the beginning, remember what it says. The godly have deep roots. So is this saying that you're going to have trouble if you don't believe in God? I don't think so. I think it's telling you if you don't have deep roots, then you're in trouble. That makes sense scientifically. No harm comes to the one with deep roots, the godly. It means you won't be moved, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. You're going to have a lot of problems if the foundation isn't built. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. That one hits me hard, because I understand that's the system we live in today. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. Don't let anybody destroy that from you and dilute that. All of you. Why do I think I'm so excited for some of you? And I say this all the time, because if the people who come in here, and I hope I set you an example, I may not be the perfect example, but I hope you can see some hard work. And I hope that you do it and you become a leader, because that's what's going to happen. And you're going to lead different people, your families, different groups, everything in your way. But if you are lazy, you're going to become a slave. You'll be a slave to your job, you're a slave to your same friends, the slave to your community, not even your community, not even in a positive way. Just understand that. Be lazy and become a slave. That's it. Work hard, become a leader. Worry weighs a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. I love this one. The next one. The godly give... Oh, no. I already read that one. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. It's not we're only eating what we kill. We'll do anything. We work hard. Do you see that? When you work hard, you don't care. You will make use of everything. Where people, some of you are killing, some of you have more than the next guy, but you're lazy. You have more time. You have more time than some people in here. You ever thought about that? What separates the guy who watches the stream and goes to work, takes care of his family, studies afterwards, watches the watch list, watches the stream while he's working, and then the 19-year-old kid, the 20-year-old kid, the 24-year-old kid who could sit here for 7 hours, no family, no kids, no real tasks afterwards. Maybe school and you don't even take it seriously. You have more time than that guy, but he's doing more with it. You're not even going to the gym. That was just me trying to get you to go to the gym, honestly. But in all seriousness, you get it, man. Lazy people don't cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. Tell me what you have, not what you don't. The way of the godly leads to life. That path does not lead to death. Again, how it ends. The way of the godly. But as it is made clear, the godly have deep roots. So, in conclusion, to put this into Biosphere 2, this verse ends. The way of godly, the way of deep roots leads to life. The path that does not have deep roots leads to death. So back to Biosphere 2. I hope you embrace these challenges in your life. I hope you embrace the wind and understand this is what's going to separate you. That this wind is making you stronger, not only to grow bigger, but to survive. And that the key is building deep roots. And when you have deep roots, you don't move. The idea is to keep growing when it may seem like the wind is pushing you and that this environment is harsh. Thankfully, you have a human mind to understand there's more. There's a future. There's hope. And you know the development. The people who go in one place, set down their roots, and then wind happens, they fall over, then they move. That wasn't described in that verse. That wasn't described as deep roots. That wasn't described as godly. Call it whatever you want. It's the people who are going to sit there and hold it down, honestly. You have to really think about it. That's why I'm going to ask some of you, how deep are your roots? Just simple, how deep are your roots right now? Think about what you're going through. Think about the wind. How many of you want to quit? How many of you it feels like it's nothing? How many of you have been beaten by the wind for a long time now? These are the things you're going to have to think about. And the next time you think about quitting, moving, getting up, changing pace, changing direction, what are you doing to your roots? Because I hope you know that's what it means to stay rooted. It's to stand in something. It's like the armor of God. That's why you put on, remember I told you that? Why did we put on the armor? Helmet, breastplate, shield, shoes, belt, sword. Why? So you could take a beating. So you could stand there. The point is, when the wind is blowing and you're getting the wind of negativity, People saying you're never going to be successful. People, your bank account, and the wind from the bank account, you're like, I don't even got money. This is fucked up, bro. Your roots are deep enough to stand there and say, everything's going to be okay. I know something's going to happen. I have more coming for me. Even though the wind is blowing, I'm not going to be lazy. Even though there's wind and it feels like I'm not going to be there and I have every reason to quit, I'm going to wake up and work hard. Oh, y'all don't feel me. Because that's what happens. You still have to work. The roots are still, that's how the roots get developed. The point is to stand there, to stay rooted and stay there when all of this wind is blowing. Because the ones with deep roots, the roots get stronger. And what do you think's going to happen? No wind blows forever. It's going to stop, and you will be stronger than before. And it will take a lot more than wind to ever bring you down. And that same wind is going to feel like a lot less next time around because you now have real experience to learn how to stand in the wind, to learn how to stand and say, I see negative, I feel negative wind, but you resist it with positivity. With what you know, you stand in the blessing. I stand in the promise from God. I stand in, that's it. I stand on facts, words, written. Get rooted. But that's the key. So I hope all of you know you need the wind. And I don't know what wind you're dealing with right now, but I encourage you to develop your roots through it. And stand in this idea that regardless of whatever the wind feels like, whatever it is, you need to stand and get rooted in the fact that something good is going to happen. And that there's more than what there is now, and you don't see it, and you may not even believe it, but you know it's coming. That's what it's coming down to. And why? Why practicality? Why? Why am I telling you this? This sounds like some fucking Disney shit. It's so you can work hard and you don't get lazy. Do you understand? Because some of you are going to take the wind and say, I believe. Hope it's too windy to work. That's a lot of wind to fight against. No, because if you really believe something is going to be better, you're going to wake your ass up and get to it. Promise you. So that's the practicality of it. It's saying, I'm not going to give up, I'm not going to give in, and I'm going to work regardless. But you know why that wind is there, and you know what it's developing, and it's getting the root, and you know you're not supposed to move. And you're saying, I don't care what. I don't care what happens. I grew up here, you gave me this, that. What, you want me to be defeated and give up? Fuck you. That's what it's coming down to. My roots are deep. And I'm going to work. Nothing's going to stop me from working hard. Nothing's going to stop me from moving. And what I know gives me results. Hard work. Putting in the time. Dedicating something bigger. You know it all. But you got to stand in that even when the wind is blowing. So, it's a common theme. We've heard it a lot. I think it's interesting to see. But at the same time, man, y'all need the wind, and you're going to keep going. And I'm excited for some of you who use this opportunity this year, have already developed your roots. Some of you got to grow, and now you're getting the wind, and it's not knocking you over. And it may feel like it, but maybe this is the opportunity. You dig down deep, baby. And I'm excited to see where you guys go with it. It's going to be exciting because that wind is going to do a lot. And I'm excited for my people with deep roots. You will be regarded as godly, even if you don't believe in God. Stick to what you know. Stick to what it is. Don't let the external change it. Don't let the wind do too much. But that's why you build the foundation solid. And just keep believing, baby. Keep believing. But that is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Tell me when you hear it. your post-philo uncle.
All right, baby. Every hour, you know what to do. You ready? It's a call, baby.
Lucas.
They ain't do they push-ups. They just later ran. Started at 1 unit. Now on the 10. I think you could do it. Tell me how that sound. They said I was stupid. You should ask them now. Tell me what you had, not what you don't. Don't be getting mad, get some hope. I don't want a bag, I want a boat. I don't want it fast, I want it slow. Know exactly how the money grows. Cup is overflown, not withdrawn. Don't condone the bitch and moan. There's a bigger goal. Gotta get more homes for my bros and my moms and my motherfucking coat. Hope you watch the plan unfold. Yeah, I'm not seen but unforgettable. You got dreams, don't tell me, go and get it, bro. They got some nice things, that don't mean they always credible. Don't do the nice scene, that ain't me, I had to let it go. So, tell me what you holding on. I hold batons, I pass it on. You sprinting, this a marathon, I'm Farrakhan. Only if we talking million men that march. I stock computer screens, I made 1 million looking at some charts. Yeah. Easy said, but it's hardly done. No need your bread, but I tell you when them shots gon' run, I'm poppin', son. But I don't do this to be popular, I just prefer the hottest car. The crib is on the toppest floor. Collect the rent, I am the Lord. I make a check when I get bored. Love what I do, my job is fun. I read the news and smoke a blunt, I'm woke as fuck. That don't mean I never been asleep. Be careful of the friends you meet, the different types of foods you eat. I use this fucking beat to preach, but they don't value us for free. My life is good, my God is great, so what's that even mean to me? Put that shit right in the door, but they won't even turn the key. So if you good, I'm good, let's get this bread, you know I'm trying to eat. Beast, turn that mode on every time I wake. Validate myself, don't matter, pay you what they say, I know I'm great. So I just thank them every time they hate. Hits, I'll find my God divine, get 10 for what they try to take.